Hey, yo, what is up, everybody? What's going on? It's your girl Jay, and we live. I'm on time. Check that out. I'm on time. I hope everyone out there is having a good evening. We are live. We are back. We are watching Game 4 of the WNBA Finals between Las Vegas Aces and the New York Liberty. This is the game that changed it all. This is the game that changed it all. It was the history-making game, but we're going to get into it in a little bit because I started like right on time, just in case some people want to jump in. I'm going to talk about a couple of other quick topics before we jump into this game. Sorry, guys. My allergies are acting bad, so I'm a little raspy today. But let's go ahead and get into some ACES sightings. So this past week or weekend, if any of you watched the NBA, there was the in-season tournament that they had. WNBA, their in-season tournament is called a Commissioner's Cup. I don't know what the NBA's is called, if anything, but it's the in-season tournament. And Aces were there. Of course, it's held in Vegas. So, of course, the Aces were going to be there. And actually, they were all over the place. They were seen at the in-season tournament, the semifinals between the Pelicans and the Lakers. Lakers, that's my team. Not really my team, but my team. It's a long story. We'll get into it later. Kobe was my guy. So I became a Lakers fan. But Lakers against Pelicans, the Lakers win, and then they have the finals, the Indiana Pacers against the Los Angeles Lakers for this in-season tournament championship cup. If there's a name, somebody comment below. I don't remember or know if there's a name for it, but it was held in Vegas, so I'm gonna bring it up here. And I think I'm going to make it big just so y'all can see the picture. So, yeah. So this was this was when the Lakers were playing the Pelicans, if I'm not mistaken. So as you can see, Chelsea, Kelsey, Kia, Asia, and Jackie there. And then Candace was calling the game, I believe. So she was there as well. And then I don't know if I have another picture of the second night. That was, I want to say that was at the Raiders game. There was another picture. I don't think I have it, but it was, Kelsey wasn't there. Was it just Jackie, Asia, and it might have been just Jackie, Asia, and Kia. I'm not sure who was there for the second night, but they were there for the finals. Again, they got called up. They were sitting in VIP seating, courtside, showing off their trophy because they are the champions. They are the current reigning champions of Vegas right now. They're the only professional sports team to have 2 championships and to have them be back-to-back. So they're a big deal in Vegas. They should be. I would like them to have their merch available all over Vegas. So Vegas, get it together because you can't find their merch unless you go to their facility. But that's besides the point. This picture here, I believe they went to the Raiders game, which was that Sunday. Again, they were there with the owner of the team, Mark Davis, also owns the Raiders. So he was there. He had them there, I guess. And let me see. It's a lot of people. Some of their coaching staff. You see Sid, you see Becky. KB came out. AC, you see her there. Of course, Jackie, Asia. The trophy. KB still in that boot. So is Chelsea. I'm praying every day that I get to see them without that boot because I'm like, please heal up by the time the season starts. I know we still have, months before the season starts, but you also have to get in shape. So I'm hoping they can rehab and be better so they can come back to the team. some other news. So they were around showing off their trophy at the Raiders game and then at both nights of the in-season tournament of the NBA. And then it was announced that Chelsea Gray would be joining the Kings broadcast team doing the pre and post show for Kings basketball. So that was a huge deal. I saw somebody tweet out that Chelsea's agent always keeps her clients getting a bag, which I didn't realize that Asia, Jackie, Chelsea, Jewel Lloyd, and there's somebody else, but they all have the same agent. They all are with the same agent, have the same agent. They're with the same agency, and the agency is founded, and I think founded, and I believe he still obviously is working there. What's up, RC? But the founder and I guess the boss of that agency is LeBron James's his agent. What's his name? Rich Paul. And the funny thing is, I only know who Rich Paul is because he was dating Adele, and I think they're now married. But anyway, it's like cool to see like all of them are riding with the same agency that represents. I mean, they represent so many athletes, but that represent LeBron James. So I'm glad she got that look. And then what else? Oh, and then she was being interviewed. Chelsea was about welcoming her to the Kings family and all that other stuff. And they were saying like, was the Aces still celebrating their win? And she's like, yes, they're still celebrating. They still call me to do different things. And she said, I told him to go home and relax. I need a break. And she said something like the championship is not going anywhere. She said leading up to getting the ring ceremony is going to be crazy. And then the video that was floating around Twitter, Asia quoted it and she put, nah, we lit. So she's still they still trying to party. Like these ladies are not giving up this party life. They said they are partying up until they get those rings. Let me see what RC says. Oh, I'm going to talk about that. Because I was thinking about you when I saw and heard what was going on, RC. So I had you in mind. I was actually going to go to your YouTube channel and see if you talked about it already. I'm sure you have. I just haven't had a chance to look yet, but I'm going to check out that video. But my next topic is the lottery results. So WNBA draft lottery happened Sunday, December 10th. And pretty much they were just going to show who the first 4 picks were going to be because all the rest of them are kind of already decided. But they held a lottery to find out who was going to get the first pick, first, second, third, and fourth. And so here are the results. So Indiana Fever got the first pick. Los Angeles Sparks got the second pick. Phoenix Mercury got the third pick. And Seattle got the fourth pick. Now, the reason RC is happy over there, because I looked this up because I don't remember everybody. Like I know them, but I don't want to say the wrong thing. So in the mock draft that ESPN had, if these players were to decide to go into the draft this coming year, this is what team would get them, and this is what number they would be drafted at. This is what they think. So obviously, number 1, Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark from Iowa would go to Indiana. And that's why RC is excited because that's his girl. He's like her number 1 fan. And I mean, a lot of people have been talking about Caitlin Clark teaming up with Aaliyah Boston and them just taking over Indiana basketball and, maybe, getting that team up to par because it hasn't been doing great. They're in the running to get the top spot for the lottery, which means they didn't have a great record. And I think it's based off the past 2 years of their record. So yeah, Indiana, Aaliyah Boston obviously is a baller. She came from University of South Carolina. She was Rookie of the Year. So she's a great player. She's a great player. But if you add Caitlin Clark in with the things that she's been doing, that would be a great, team. What did RC say? Yeah. Yep. I was going to get into that, but yeah, we shall see how that works out because they don't have any first round picks because of the trade situation, but we'll see what we get. I'm curious. I can't really make any comments on that because I think it all depends, like I said, on who's healthy and who's coming back as to like how we make our decision. Because we also know that you can be drafted to the W, but you may not make the roster. So that's another thing that we have to consider. But I'm pretty sure these top four, they are going to make it and they'll stay. So number 2 for Los Angeles, they say that Cameron Brink will go number 2. She's from Stanford. She's a power forward senior. And I've seen her play. She's really good as well. Phoenix Mercury, Paige Beckers out of UConn, who's a junior. So we don't know if she's going to go into the draft or not, but she's a really good player. UConn is not doing the best right now. So it's a high, it's likely she will go into the WNBA, but we don't know yet. But she may go to the Phoenix Mercury. And then drafted number 4 is Camila Cardoso, who is 6'7". She's Brazilian. She is out of the University of South Carolina. She's a center. And she was Aaliyah Boston's, I don't want to say backup, but she was like, Aaliyah Boston was a starter. Camilla would come in off the bench for her. So this year has been her year where she's now, the main person. They lob that ball into her all the time. So she would go to Seattle Storm if things worked out. But this is just a mock draft, so I don't really know how things are going to go. But I'm kind of excited. I think the draft is in March, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm excited because I normally don't watch college basketball, but now that I've been watching, and I mainly watch because I want to see, what prospects we have out there that may end up coming to the league. And now I actually know who these people are that they're talking about that's going to get possibly drafted into the WNBA. So I don't know. I mean, people say Caitlin should stay one more year and play or, try to get another championship. She just got signed to Gatorade. I think they just signed her for a huge NIL deal, which, she can take with her if she gets drafted. So I don't know if it's a money thing. It's just based off, I think, what she wants to do. Because, she's going to make money regardless. Now, she's not going to make millions in the WNBA just as a base salary, but with all her other endorsements and things like that, she'll be fine. It just depends if she's ready to go to the next level or not. So we shall see about that. And then as far as the Aces are concerned, again, we'll just see how that goes. What did RC say? If she comes, I'm gonna be a loss. Indiana, Vegas, Aces. Oh my goodness! Look now, long as you're still hanging with me on Aces nights. I guess if we're battling each other, if it's Aces against Indiana, we might have to just pick a side. Well, I already know what side I'm going to be on, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes down. RC. I would be excited to see that matchup because, I don't know, Jackie and Kelsey been in that gym, and I think they're going to be ready once that season starts, and we'll see what happens with Chelsea. But I don't think it's going to be easy for Caitlin when she comes into the Aces house, is all I can say. One other thing I was going to cover before we get into this game is there's this player. I was watching the South Carolina game this weekend. Well, it was Sunday. So they had 3 games. They had a UConn game, South Carolina, and I forgot who was before South Carolina because I didn't make that game. But South Carolina was playing Utah, and there's this player, Peely. That girl, I think she's 6 foot, but she almost single-handedly beat South Carolina, like by herself. Like she ended the game with 37 points, but it was at one point, I want to say it was either second or the third quarter, where she scored all the points until she had to sit out because she got a foul. It must have been the second quarter. I think she had like 18 points or something crazy like that. Like that girl, you couldn't stop her, whether she's driving to the basket. Like she's strong, so you can't just knock her around. She just throws that ball up. And then if you stop her from going inside, she has an outside shot. She was crazy. They're thinking about her also being drafted if she decides she wants to be drafted into the WNBA. I don't know what number she would go. But I've never seen her before. And South Carolina, again, was not having the best start. And everything they were throwing at her, they could not. Even Coach Staley was like, we can't stop her. Like at this point, we just have to outscore the team because we can't stop her from getting points. And then on the other end, Cardoso was there's this girl, Johnson, I forgot her first name, but she took about 6 charges. Now, it was probably about 2 of those were real charges. The rest of them were like flops. I don't know what she was doing, but every time she got in front of a South Carolina player, she was hitting that floor, and they were calling that charge. So Cardoso was in foul trouble early. What's the other girl? Is her name Ashton? I might be wrong. I can picture her face, but now her name is escaping me. She's the one that can dunk. She was in foul trouble early. They had like four players in foul trouble. I think they got a charge on Kits. So, I mean, it was crazy the way she was getting, like they couldn't score on that side because the girl kept taking Ashlyn Watkins. You're right. Thanks. Thank you, RC. Let me see what else you've been saying. Peely is 6'2". I said the Aces may draft her at 16, but after Peely's performance in South Carolina, she's going higher than 16. Can we, if we get her though, what is she? Like Asia's back? I mean, because we don't really need, I guess we can use a post player. Depends on if Candace comes back or not. I'm not really sure. But I feel like that post area is Asia's. So that's to be, but hey, any team that gets her, that girl is dangerous. What else? Kiki Rice, she's from UCLA, sophomore, who can triple-double any given night. She's my second. I've heard of her. I have not seen her play. There's some teams that I haven't been able to see. Like, I still haven't seen Juju Watkins play, and I hear all kind of crazy stuff about her. I'll watch her highlights, but I've not been able to catch a USC game. I guess it's just the area that I'm in, and I don't have like a mega super sports package. I just got whatever YouTube TV allows me to have, and then I have Prime, and I have the ESPN app, but they don't play all the games all the time. So I've heard of Kiki. I have not been able to watch her play though. All right. But thank you for that, Ashlyn Watkins. Now, she was doing her thing. Like, everybody was like, Fawali came in and gave us some clutch threes. Like, we were staying in it, but oh my God, Peely almost took us. She almost took us out. If she didn't get into foul trouble, she probably could have took that whole game by herself. It was crazy. All right, so we are here to watch the first quarter of Game 4. I said this was the game that changed it all. So let me set the stage real quick. I mean, Aces fans, you already know this, but we find out Game 3 that Chelsea is hurt. And we see from pregame and the interviews they had done prior to Game 4 that she was not going to play. She was in a boot. Then we find out not only is she in a boot, but Kia is in a boot. And I was very confused because I'm like, Kia was playing and she was fine. And when they interviewed her, she was like, yeah, I just woke up and my foot didn't feel right. And I'm like, that's very nonchalant. Like, we have a championship on the line right now. And you're just like, yeah, my foot is hurt. Now, obviously it's more than that because she's still in that boot. So we still don't really know what either injury is. just that they're in boots. But I was just I was kind of shaking in my boots because I'm like, we're down 2 starters. Not that they couldn't do it, but it was like, it's just not going to be super easy for them. And if y'all heard me talking during the playoffs, I was like, look, I don't want no nail biters. I don't want nothing difficult. I just want them to come in here and win this championship. I don't want any problems. And then what happens? 2 of our starters go down. We already have Candace on the bench. We never replaced Williams. So we have 3 people on the bench at that point if we were to take 2 people off the bench to put them as starters. So it was going to be a challenge. But I looked at what made me feel better is that I looked at the team during the shoot around and stuff like that when the people were there. Now, maybe they were putting on an act, but they didn't seem worried. They were joking around. They were having fun. They were doing the things they were doing prior to all the injuries. And I was like, look, if my team is confident that they got this, then I'm confident that they got this. And I said in prior videos that I remember watching an interview with Sid Colson, and she was saying like, yeah, she doesn't get to play. She's been in the league a very long time. A lot of teams don't play her, but she's still working out. She still shows up. She still has a good attitude. She works to try to, keep the team morale up. And so when her number is called, she wants to be ready whenever that is. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, it may not be for 10 games, but whenever her name is called and her number is called, she wants to be ready. And to hear that and then to have this happen, I had all the confidence in the world that, if Sid was in the game, she was going to, do her best. And I've seen her, we saw her in the playoffs, the few minutes that she was there, like really with so much energy, trying to defend. I think she got some steals. She did that behind the back pass. Like she was really, doing her thing. I think we stacked the table to show Epic that we could do that. Like, I mean, if one thing the Aces need is we do need a little depth because we never know what kind of injuries or things is going to happen. So we got to be able to have a deep bench and not have to worry about doing those emergency contracts. What do they call them? The hardship contracts and things like that. So we'll see. RC said, I remember like yesterday at the end of the third quarter, I was like, hey, yeah, got those mofos right where we want them. Yes, I think we down 1 or up 1 at the end of the third. Yeah. Are you talking about game 4? Or are you talking about the end? Are you talking about game 3 when Chelsea got hurt? Because if it was game 4, let me tell y'all, I don't think my stomach has ever been in knots like that before. I've never been so nervous. Somebody is blowing me up. Hold on, sorry. I've never been more nervous to watch a game. And let me tell you something. When I watched Coco Gauff play her tennis match to win, I believe it was the U.S. Open, I was so nervous. Like, I just get nervous. Like, I know she has the skill to win, but just watching it was just too close to call. And so I think the Aces made me more nervous than watching that Coco Gauff match because we stayed in it, and we'll watch that. That's what we're watching. So first quarter, we're trucking along. But yeah, by the end of that game, we got close, and I could barely watch the fourth quarter. When it got down to 2-3 minutes, I had to turn it off. I had to pause it, especially right when we're like taking off the lead. Like the lead is getting bigger. I'm like, oh, I can't. It's too much time. It's too much time on the clock. Like all New York has to do is give us a couple of threes and they can win the game. So I was nervous. So I'm happy that I can now watch this game and not be nervous and just enjoy the game and enjoy what the Aces did. Because that night, I was sick. I was so sick. We were supposed to pull away late by 6 or 7. Then the bootleg Caitlin started bringing the Liberty back. Yes, and then Kelsey had that turnover. That's what got me. Kelsey did that turnover right at the end. I was like, oh my God, we're about to lose. sweating bullets. But, of course, our team came out victorious. So we're going to watch this first quarter. Was not a good quarter, like I said. We had 8 turnovers in that quarter. Hey, Kyle. We had 8 turnovers in that quarter. You can definitely tell we were missing Chelsea. I always get them mixed up. Because she is the floor lead. She literally is the coach on the floor. During timeout, she takes that clipboard from Becky, and she will literally have a huddle by herself. Becky lets her do it. She directs traffic. She knows where to put the ball. We saw that in previous games. And she's just, she's the leader on that floor. And so to not have her there, you can tell, especially this first quarter, we were all over the place. Like, we were trying, like Asia was trying, but you can tell with KP running point, even though she's done that in college, that's just not her, hasn't been her thing with the Aces. And when you have Chelsea, you don't have to really know how to run the point because you got the point guard is what they call her. So you come in during, the time she needs to rest, do your little thing, and then you go back to, shooting and getting open so you can take the open shots and things like that. So I think it was just a lot of pressure because they had been hearing the things that we were hearing, that they were about to lose it all and there was no way they can win this championship, and there's no way that anyone can fill the shoes of Chelsea Gray. So I'm sure that was a lot of pressure on KP to have to do that. And you'll see this in this first quarter that, it just wasn't, it was kind of bad. But even though we were bad, we only ended up down 10, I believe, which is crazy because New York should have took that and they just couldn't bank on that stuff. So before we get started, let me see what else is going on. I don't need a job on ESPN. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate it. Remember the post-game. So, oh yeah, she threw those crutches up and just fell on top of the pile of people. She said, forget those crutches. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with this game. So let me pull it up. All right. And I'll mute myself. Let's watch how this goes down.
Meanwhile, New York looking to force a Game 5 Friday night in Vegas. Game 4 is underway as Vegas wins the tip.
Vegas scripted their first play, and it started with Asia Wilson initiating the offense, getting screening action, trying to get her touch in the post.
Here's George. There is the touch for Wilson. Wilson taking it at Jones and able to finish. Assertive take from the two-time MVP.
And one of the things with Kayla George, she is a very good passer. She's also a good three-point shooter.
Alicia Clark up into her former teammate Brianna Stewart. Here's Ionescu looking for Jones, settles with Vandersloot in the corner. Had the three, didn't take it, now in trouble. Trap throws it away. Laney knocks it out of bounds, and that's exactly what Becky Hammond wants on the defensive end.
She said, I want to create chaos, and we expect to see a variety of different defenses from Vegas, whether it's man or box, triangle, any kind of junk. Becky said she's going to throw it all at New York today.
I thought it was interesting. We asked Becky Hammond, how do you derive confidence when you suffer the injuries that you did? And she said, I'm confident as blank. And you can roll with that.
Yeah, the blank would get each one of my kids onto the naughty step if they said it. And what a great start. Alicia Clark, we know she can do that inside, posting up on Sabrina.
Good start for Vegas here in Game 4. Laney in the corner, connects.
And with the focus of Vegas's defense, Laney and Sloop are the two players who may have a lot of opportunity, open opportunity today.
George firing away, airmails the three, Jones the rebound, here comes New York. Vandersloot lobs it, Stewart nearly put it in acrobatically. Pass a little too tall, now numbers for Vegas, and Wilson throws it out of bounds.
First play of the game, go to A'ja Wilson. And what does she do after getting her shot blocked a couple times by Jonquel Jones here in game 4? Takes it right at her. And Ryan, what have we noticed? Every single time Vegas has used A'ja Wilson to bring the ball down the floor and initiate a role that Candace Parker had early in the season.
Stewart fading. Doesn't get the roll. Jones keeping it alive. Wilson, a gritty battle for the board.
So why is this? It's because A'ja Wilson generally has the big player Jonquel Jones guarding her. Makes it a little easier to get it over half court.
And creates some space as Young knocks down the corner 3.
As if A'ja Wilson doesn't do enough.
Vandersloot looking inside. Jones, great position on Young. Jonquel Jones, easy work.
The fact that Jackie was guarding
offensive foul.
Jones.
We're going to call it travel on Jones, and New York turns it over. It's so loud in here, you cannot hear the whistle. It's been an incredible atmosphere the entire postseason at Barclays, but deafening before tip tonight.
That was incredible, the way Jackie Young was battling Jonquel Jones. She gives up about 5 or 6 inches to her.
Vegas turns it over again. Here comes Stewart. Ionescu, who had 11 assists in game 3, trying to shoo away Plum, and that's going to be a foul on Kelsey Plum, who doesn't mind that. She likes to be pesky and get up into whatever player she's defending.
You have to be careful, though, for Vegas, because the one thing you do not have, worse than at any point this season, is you don't have a deep bench.
Right.
You have to be very careful with the fouls you pick up.
Already without Candace Parker, who's been out for much of this season with a foot injury. Here's Laney, not that time, and the rebound tilts out of bounds to Las Vegas.
And again, a decent look by Laney. You have to understand Vegas is going to give plenty of attention to Sabrina Ionescu, Jonquel Jones, and Breanna Stewart, man-to-man, tight on them, and then different schemes with the other players behind them. So, again, important for those two to be able to shoot it.
Plum tried to dance past Vandersloot, could not finish it. Here comes Stewart. Stewart fakes the handoff, finds the cutter. Vandersloot back to her, and Stewart unable to finish the layup. Ionescu comes up with a steal.
How she missed that?
Here's Stewart. Dumps it down. Laney with the size, couldn't finish it. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay here with New York. Jackie Young taking a moment to get up.
The Vegas guards are battling. This last possession, it was Kelsey Plum just fighting with Laney inside, bouncing out. You see
Kelsey
here.
was getting rebounds this game, though.
Oh, yeah, Jackie Young's left ankle goes over a little bit.
And this scared the crap out of
Well,
me.
now
I'm
Jackie
like,
Young
no,
is staying down. It's interesting because Becky Hammond has told us Jackie Young's the kind of player, when she goes down, she doesn't worry because she'll stay down there for a minute and collect herself. So when A'ja Wilson goes down and stays down, she gets very concerned. Here, Jackie's still favoring it a little bit, more than a little bit.
Well, you'll see the ankle go over.
We'll watch Young closely. Meanwhile, New York has had some good looks at the rim. They've just looked a little hurried on their finishes. Stewart forces it up. No. Jones on the offensive glass, puts it home.
One of the things that Vegas loses without Chelsea Gray, she is a terrific rebounder from the guard position.
Wilson spinning, taking, and dropping it home.
A'ja said, hop on my back.
9-5 lead for Vegas. Ionescu, back iron, no. Vandersloot the rebound. Another chance for New York. In the corner, Laney gives it up. Vandersloot knocks it down.
The Liberty's fortunes today, Ryan, may be as simple as how well Laney and Courtney Vandersloot shoot the basketball.
They've gotten good looks early. Young working the body and drawing the foul.
Two of the best bigs in the WNBA. Jonquel Jones here, just getting the position. As soon as a shot goes up, she's thinking offensive rebound. And then A'ja Wilson struggled a little bit with her efficiency in game 3. How about that one? Nice strong start for A'ja.
We talked with A'ja Wilson about absorbing the loss of Chelsea Gray and Kia Stokes. The Aces also without their starting center, in addition to their starting point guard, as Stewart tips it out of bounds. And Wilson said, took us 24 hours to absorb it, let ourselves feel the emotion, and then right back to work. She said for her, not going to try and get too far outside of what she usually does. And she said her message to Kelsey Plum, as well as Jackie Young, is you can do this. You just do it your way. Don't try and make Chelsea Gray passes. Plum drops it off of Vandersloot, one to shoot here for Vegas. Now, Jackie Young moments ago was rubbing her left knee after that foul. That's what we saw dinged on the other end of the floor. Clark gets it in, Plum gets it off, and airballs it, a shot clock violation from Vegas.
And one thing for New York to keep an eye on defensively as they're playing their man-to-man. Breanna Stewart is matched up with Kayla George, but she's just roaming. She is leaving her. She's got her eyes on the basketball the entire possession.
Sandy Brondello told us her number one concern was making sure her team did not take their foot off the gas at all against a Vegas team without Gray and Stokes.
Really good defense by A'ja Wilson, making sure to avoid the foul. We asked her about that, and she said, yeah, I got to stay aggressive, kind of feel out the officials the first 5 minutes, see how they're calling it.
Yeah, I like the way she put it, the two-time Defensive Player of the Year. She said, I don't want to be timid, though, because that's not fun.
Yeah.
Here's Plum. Off to George. Cutting is Wilson. Lost it. Fifth turnover for Las Vegas. Vandersloot with some space, looking for help. Ionescu. You bet.
Well, this historic run to the finals has been exciting because it has been over 2 decades since the Liberty were in the finals. It's been so long that Becky Hammond was still playing and leading the team in those 2002 finals. This is how old the current WNBA players were. Look at Stewie, the baller in the making at 8 years old. Jonquel was also 8, and Sabrina Ionescu was just 5 years old the last time the Liberty were on this stage. Breanna Stewart's all grown up now, and she's used to these championship moments. Look at her record in championship games. Yes, there's one loss on there in international play, but a caveat, an asterisk. She tore her Achilles in the second quarter, so I don't think that loss is on her. I'm going to say she's undefeated. What a journey for this franchise, and how cool to see those ballers all grown up.
Well, and Holly, it was interesting talking to Breanna Stewart today about the difference for her in Game 3, much more efficient than Games 1 and 2, and she said, among other things, I just had to get my stuff. She used a different word as well.
Again,
together.
Another one that will put you on the naughty step.
That's right. Clark posting up Ionescu and draws the foul on Ionescu.
I love seeing the plays that Becky Hammond draws up coming out of timeout. She likes to use Jackie Young as an initiator in those situations, but where did she go? Alicia Clark with Ionescu on her, not only because she's got the size and strength advantage, but picks up the foul.
We've talked about it before with Sue Bird here sitting courtside again. That was one of Sue's favorite things to do when Clark won 2 championships in Seattle, was post her up on guard. She had size on. Good cut from Plum, extra feed, pass off target. Young attacks the closeout. Plum misfires on the 3, but there is Clark on the putback.
Yeah, you see.
Here's Vandersloot firing away. Can't hit. A'ja Wilson left for the rebound. Wilson. One-on-one with Jones, out to Plum, who's averaged 26 points per game in these finals. Clark too tall for George, and that is the 6th turnover in the opening quarter from Las Vegas. Remember, this is an Aces team that led the league in fewest turnovers. They were number 1 in offensive turnover percentage this season. Without the steady hand of Chelsea Gray, their all-world point guard. Oh, what a look, and what a rejection.
Get out of here.
Wilson denies Ionescu after a gorgeous dime from Vandersloot.
Great cut and a perfect pass, and then A'ja Wilson, after not having a block in Game 3, saves the layup there.
Tied at 11, first quarter of Game 4. Vandersloot dumps it down in a crowd, and New York has turned it over for a 4th time. Here's Young in transition, can't lay it in. Clark again in offensive rebound.
Smart by Ionescu to not allow herself to be called for a second foul.
Here's Wilson off to Clark, into the corner. Young alone. Back iron, no. Was on target. Jackie Young has become one of the most reliable three-point shooters in the league. Vandersloot to the cup, plus the foul. An aggressive take from
nice.
Courtney Vandersloot and a chance for three.
It has been a re-energized, more confident Courtney Vandersloot that we have seen in both games 3 and 4 here, attacking the rim with confidence. That's the best take we've seen from her in these finals.
5 points in this opening quarter for Vandersloot. Holly Rowe, Courtney Vandersloot has picked it up here over the last game plus.
That's right. She felt she let her team down in games 1 and 2, didn't play like she needed to, and she said, I was sitting on the bench and knew I had to be better to stay on the floor. I wanted to be the solution for my team when they needed answers, and boy, has she been in game 3 and so far tonight.
Here's Laney into the corner. No, had Vandersloot there for a moment. Laney will fire. Back iron, no, and Plum secures the rebound. Plum dumps it in. Oh, Bell on the reverse just into the game for Las Vegas. Could not finish it. Here is Stewart. Vandersloot given space again. Will she take? Stewart. The handoff to Ionescu. Extra feed. Vandersloot connects. This is an all-time great point guard who got off to a rough start in these finals, as Holly documented, but is back with a vengeance over the last couple games. Laney off the steal. Buckle up.
Both coaches in their shoot-arounds emphasized having high hands, getting deflections on the defensive end. That's exactly what happened the last possession with Breanna Stewart getting the deflection.
A 14-2 New York run. Wilson can't hit. Out of bounds off Laney. 5 to shoot for Las Vegas as Kayla Thornton, Maureen Johannes will check in for New York. Chelsea Gray doing everything she can to try and guide her team from the bench. This is a player that missed a full season early in her career with injury, but then has not missed a single game the rest of her career because of injury until today. Wilson can't finish. Stewart pull up 3, and she's fouled by Wilson. 3 free throws coming for Stewart, and that is number 2 on A'ja Wilson.
Reviewing it for a reckless closeout.
Wow, yes they are.
It's our first review of the finals, though, isn't it?
I think you're right.
Now I'm like, she has to go sit. So
feels like some sort of monumental accomplishment.
You know how I know about it? Because I mentioned it before the
Okay.
game, and Holly said, now you just jinxed us, and I clearly did.
Yes, you did. Eric Bruton.
The players are reviewed for a possible closeout.
There you go. Okay, so will it be a reckless closeout, which would mean 3 shots for Breanna Stewart, plus the basketball for New York.
I don't know that I would call this one a reckless closeout. She lands. A'ja Wilson's shoe is right there to say hello to Stewie's shoe, but did she land on the shoe?
I just think it's really hard to call a reckless closeout on the LeBron 21s that A'ja Wilson's wearing.
Fair.
It's a beautiful shoe. I don't know, Rebecca. It's going to be an interesting one. We see there's a lot of nuance when it comes to the reckless closeout. Potential for injury is one of the things that's considered.
Oh, yeah, her toe does have to turn at the end in order to land.
But Stewie is pigeon-toed. Her toe is going to turn.
It's a common foul. No reckless closeout. It was foot-to-foot contact.
All right, foot-to-foot contact. No reckless closeout. And free throws here.
Foot-to-foot contact, that's more flirting than a reckless closeout.
Gives us a chance to take a look at the upcoming WNBA Finals schedule. Friday on ESPN. If there's a Game 5, it will be 9 Eastern back in Vegas. For more on these games, please go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app.
Breanna Stewart had told us that she's going to be more aggressive offensively once again here in Game 4 like she was in Game 3. Had not made a shot, has not made a field goal to this point. Free throw line often. Seeing one goes through helps get you in your rhythm.
A 14-2 run for New York is still active as Stewart knocks down the first free throw. We talked to Breanna Stewart about how do you keep your guard up, not let down, knowing the key pieces Vegas is missing. And she said, we have to remember the Aces are coming off a loss, so they're already going to be more dialed in as a result. She said, plus our backs are against the wall. We're down 2-1 in the series. Sydney Colson into the game for Las Vegas now, with Bell going to the bench. Becky Hammond having to go far deeper into a rotation than we've seen at any point in the first half of a playoff game, and obviously that's going to be the case. Stewart nearly had a 4-point possession, could not hit. Wilson on the bench with 2 personals. It's Colson, George, Clark, Young, and Plum, the 5 on the floor for the Aces. Colson on the runner banks it in.
I mean, good for you, Sydney Colson. She's gotten about 4 minutes with this entire finals. Pump fakes, gets the closeout, and then attacks the basket. Not easy.
Here's Johannes off to Ionescu. Ionescu trying to work Colson into the paint. 8 to shoot. Laney got fouled on the drive. That'll be the 4th team foul against Las Vegas. Sydney Colson into the game and right away contributing.
And she averages 5 minutes per game on the season. There, pump fake, gets Sabrina to bite on it, and then drives inside.
She's also a very talented television host, so
that's right.
Sydney's got that going for her too. Her show with Teresa Plaisance, a Together production, as Laney hits the first. So they call the foul post-gather. That is why Laney is at the line right now. Colson was whistled for that personal. Laney with 7 first quarter points. The New York lead is 10. 7 turnovers in this opening quarter from the defending champion Aces. Colson, guarded by Ionescu. 7 to shoot. Bounces to Clark. Underneath George, 3 to shoot. Lost it. Clark has it. 1 to shoot. Colson can't get it off. Turnover number 8.
Becky Hammond said on the defensive end she wanted to create chaos. The New York Liberty are the ones creating chaos on the defensive end.
Shot clock turned off. Second 24 shot clock violation against Vegas in the opening quarter. 3 seconds left. Thornton with 2 on the attack. Thornton can't lay it in, and that'll do it for the first quarter. The Liberty facing elimination, looking to force a Game 5 Friday with a 10-point lead after 1. Alicia Clark standing by with Holly Rowe.
Alicia, this is the first game your team has played all.
All right. So that was the first quarter of Game 4. As you can see, it was a little shaky. 8 turnovers. I believe Asia had 4 points. Clark had 4 points. Jackie had 3 points. Colson had 2 points. The Kelsey had 3 points, I believe. But I mean, we were trucking along, only down by having 8 turnovers and only down by 10 points. That was a good sign. Like after the first quarter, I was like, you know what? This is doable. I was literally expecting New York to come out and blow us out by like 20 points in the first quarter. But we were sticking with it. If we had not had those turnovers that way, we could have been leading the game, as Chelsea said from the bench. They had her mic'd, so she had said that they showed that piece where she said, you know, if we didn't have these turnovers, we can be up. And then listening to AC during the interview she did after the first quarter. She said, we had a lot of turnovers, but that's stuff we can fix. So it actually feels good that they were only down by 10 because they can fix the turnovers. It's just a little jitters. They kind of got to see what New York was kind of doing. And Stewie, first of all, the D was really good with AC against Stewie. Sid came in there and shook things up a little bit on the UNESCO, Jackie on JJ, which is crazy. Asia getting blocks, and she's up against JJ. So the defense they were doing really well on. And then, tie that in with Stewie not having a great game. We know at the end of the game, I think she had it wasn't 13%, was it? Was it 30% or 13%? I think it was 13%. It was a bad, bad, bad night for her. And then for whatever reason, they weren't going into JJ a lot throughout the game, but we'll see that as we watch it. So that was quarter one. Again, I was feeling good at the end of this quarter, very happy and very hopeful that, my team was still in it, even though we were down the people we were down. So that's all I have, y'all. I will see y'all next week, next Tuesday, same time. We will watch the second quarter. And then just like halftime, we're going to take a break for the Christmas holiday, Christmas, New Year's, and we'll be back after New Year's to finish out game 4, which we got to celebrate. We got to turn up. It'll be a new year. You're already in good spirits. We're going to watch quarters 3 and 4, turn up for our team, and have our own little mock celebration here on my channel for my aces. It was one other thing I was going to say. I don't remember what it is. But thank y'all for tuning in and watching. If you like what you see, please check out. I have other videos on my channel. I have things about WNBA, mainly aces, of course. I have a podcast, so I talk about random things on that, but all that stuff is available on my homepage of my YouTube. Also, if you just look below, I believe I have the link to my website that has everything there. You can listen to my podcast right there on my website. And I think that's it. If you want to support the show, buy me a mojito. The link is below as well. And next time y'all see me, I won't have my braids, y'all, so don't be alarmed. It's time for a new do. So thank y'all for hanging with me. I appreciate it. Talk to y'all later. See y'all next week. Go Aces.